it's Louisa Zakis from RP Nutrition. Thanks for joining us for another one of our weekly videos. Today we're going to talk about baking. I love to bake. I've always loved to bake and I still love to bake. And you can actually bake healthy. It's definitely a thing you need to plan for, but it can be done. Now, sometimes when you're a pinch, and we've done it here, because as you can see, we have Ghirardelli brownies here. Now, these brownies you can get at Costco, and they are pretty tasty, but if you look at the ingredients, not really the best for you. We make them usually for company. But what does it have in it? It's good to read a label, okay? On this label, it talks about enriched flour. Enriched flour is just flour. They put added synthetic nutrients to try to make it more healthy. Not really the best thing you want for your family. Also, white sugar. We always talk about when you want to be healthy, you really want to avoid the white sugar. Artificial colors and flavors. So another thing that's not great for your family either, okay? Synthetic ingredients don't really nourish and strengthen that body. Also, well, added nutrients we talked about, we don't need them because we want the nutrients to come from our foods. So if you want to do better than this, you can plan a little ahead and get some of the things. I actually had all these in my closet, and you can make other recipes for your family. Now, say brownies are an option. Well, we can start with flour. This is einkorn flour. This is actually an ancient wheat, much more easily digestible than any other flour we have today. So this is the thing to go for. It's a little pricey, but it's really good because you can just do a one-to-one switch in any recipe you have. All right, we're gonna make crepes tomorrow with this, and yes, they are yummy. So that's a good one. Also, buckwheat flour, it's a little stronger, but it's pretty good on a one-to-one switch with any kind of recipe. So that's also a good option. Almond flour, not quite exactly a one-to-one switch, but not too bad. You might need to alter the recipe a little bit. Keep the almond flour in the freezer so it doesn't go rancid, and it's a good option for a flour as well for your baking. Now, this is cassava flour. Cassava, a little pricey, but too, a really good option for your grains. It's a little grainy, more grainy than these three, but it does make for an excellent part of your dessert. So these are grains that are an option. Now for fats, now sometimes they say olive oil or butter. Well, butter's fine, just buy the organic one. And olive oil too, certainly no vegetable oil or canola oil, please skip those. So just use one of these fats instead. Or of course, coconut oil. Coconut oil, what's neat about it too is it can be, depending on the recipe, substituted for shortening. So think about that next time you have a recipe that asks for shortening. And eggs, just buy the organic because eggs are actually really good for you. Sometimes, depending on what you're making, you could throw an extra egg in there for an extra healthy treat. As for sweeteners, now this turbinado sugar, this is, again, a nice one-to-one for any kind of white sugar. If you want to try to be a little healthier and the recipe's forgiving, you can do a maple syrup or a raw honey, okay? But when the raw honey is cooked, it's not raw anymore, so it's not as beneficial for your body. So that could be used for sweeteners. If you have a recipe that has cornstarch, well, we don't like that because it's made from corn, likely genetically modified, but arrowroot flour makes a good option for that. So this is good at thickening for recipes, for cakes, or even for like gravy too. And here, if you want to make brownies, here's our cacao powder. Lots of options for organic there. Now, instead of just salt that you would see in something like this, sea salt, Himalayan sea salt, good option. You should always have some of this in the house for any kind of cooking, baking. And recipes often take baking powder. So baking powder is fine typically, just make sure you get the one without the aluminum. It's aluminum free. This one is a good option. I'm not sure the other names, but just look at the label on the back. Learn to read the labels. We have dark chocolate chips we can use to make our Ghirardelli brownies or our healthy version, and you're all set. So hope you guys can now try to make a recipe that's healthy using new ingredients. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know, or if you have any ideas of good recipes, feel free to post them on the comments below. Thanks for joining us.